Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Is now the time to go all in on silver? That is the question of this video. Silver definitely has a lot of potential, especially in the next 3 to 6 months. We could see extremely bullish prices, and that's given several different instances, situations, and indicators leaning towards that, whether it's the gold to silver ratio, the silver shortage, or just silver's worldwide, globally renowned usefulness in electronics and technology. So we're going to be going over this because you don't want to miss the boat, right? That would be the worst thing possible. Worst case scenario is you knew about silver, you knew how much potential it had, you knew it was a ticking time bomb, and you just watched on the sidelines. You would be kicking yourself in the butt, regretting very heavily your decision making, because you could have been buying it for extremely cheap, and more than likely you're going to start buying it after it's already peaked or already started rallying for a lot more expensive. So before we start this video, make sure to smash the like button, make sure you subscribe because I post daily videos. Anyways, let's jump into it. So it's been an exciting past couple of months for investors in the gold space, but silver investors have certainly got the short end of the stick, talking about how gold is outperforming silver so much, and we're kind of still waiting for silver to catch up. While gold is busy banging on the door of a new 52-week high and melting higher, silver has been a pitiful investment in the past 6 months, as it's underperformed gold and the S&P 500 and cash. Fortunately, the Bulls played defense where they had to last month and avoided a multi-year technical breakdown near the $14 an ounce level for the time being. However, defense alone is enough to kickstart a new bull market, and we're going to need to see silver bulls start playing strong offense if they want to clean up the technical picture. Let's take a closer look below. So I like how this article is looking from a different perspective. As of 6 months ago, it was looking like we were following the late 20th century analog for silver, and the metal was performing as we'd expect following gold's multi-year breakouts. However, it's recently diverged from this analog and is taking a minor detour, and the key will be that it gets back on course immediately to suggest this analog might still be in play. As the chart shows below, silver never saw its 5-month moving average, the white line, break down in its 20-month moving average, the teal line, following the multi-year breakout in gold in December 2002. This would be a bullish sign, and it showed while silver was lagging gold's breakout, it typically does. It was stair-stepping higher and preparing for the inevitable breakout that would come a little over a year later. Unfortunately, if we look at the currently monthly chart of silver, we've got a bit of a problem here, and the analog is diverging a little bit. And it's just diverging a little bit, and you can't go off of chart analysis too much, by the way. You know, history can repeat itself, but it is still looking like crazy things can happen. If you want to talk about crazy silver prices, well, we're living in crazy times. So the realm of impossibility is definitely a shot in the dark. Silver is definitely it's plausible, right? You know, we saw silver $50 in 2011 in the 80s and 90s when things weren't anywhere near as severe as COVID-19 is. So I definitely think that now is the time, if silver's going to make a move, that it would. And I think we've hit the bottom, and I think this is time for silver to show as it opens up new eyes, new money, new investors, new perspectives, new stackers, right? So where'd I leave off at? So this would typically be a bullish sign, and it shows while silver's lagging gold's breakout, it does. It's a stair-stepping high, preparing for the inevitable breakout, and it would come a little over a year later. Unfortunately, if we look at the current monthly chart for silver, we got a bit of a problem here. The analog is diverging a little bit. If we take a look at the monthly chart below of silver, we were seeing normal price action up until last month, as we would not expect silver to break out at the same time as gold, right? Silver, that's somewhat true. Silver rises shortly after, right? Shortly after. It's like gold's little brother. If gold's gonna rise 10%, silver's gonna rise 17%. If gold's gonna drop 20%, silver's gonna drop 27%, or whatever the case is. It just drops. It's more exaggerated. It hits higher highs and lower lows. Typically, silver lags gold breakout, but then makes up for lost time with velocity, as it outperforms gold following the eventual breakout. Based on the June 2019 breakout for gold to new multi-year highs, it was not unreasonable to expect silver to head through the $20 an ounce level to new highs by late 2020. However, last month's drop has derailed the technical picture a little, as silver's plunged more than 15% beneath the moving average teal line, and we are at risk of seeing 5-month moving averages through the 20-month line. These are two significant adverse developments that we did not see any point following gold's December 2002 breakout, suggesting that this is abnormal price action for silver here. The good news for the bulls is that we still have over 40 trading days left until the end of May, and this is when we are on schedule for a bearish cross if things don't improve. In order to prevent this bearish cross, the bulls are going to need to drive the silver price above $16.60, which I definitely think can happen by the end of May at the bare minimum. While this is certainly possible, it won't be easy feat to accomplish by any means, which I don't think they're incorporating the dire necessity that COVID-19 plays on the economy and what it can play for silver prices, right? You know, if this was just back before COVID-19, or if COVID-19 didn't exist, we could have a different story online, but COVID-19 is sending us, pushing us, forcing us into a recession/depression and making times much more interesting and difficult and rare. We don't see things like this, a global pandemic. So, while markets don't always repeat themselves, they typically rhyme. And it would be ideal if the bulls could start playing some offense to confirm the prior analog better. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the waterfall decline, but we ideally want to see a parabolic reversal back near the heights to confirm that the correction was merely a short-term aberration. In gold's case, the metal has catapulted itself higher since the mid-March lows, but silver has not followed. Instead, the price of silver has only made up about half of its lost ground since the drop, and the honest proof remains on the bulls to suggest we are still on track for a break in 2021. As noted, the first hint that bulls are gaining back control would be a monthly close above $16.60 level. Given that silver continues to underperform gold, I am sticking with the strongest metal and the metal with the less overhead supply above. Bull markets typically enjoy a much smoother trend than sideways markets, and gold has been the only safe haven during the market turbulence. But that's because gold itself is a safe haven metal. Silver is seen more for industrial purposes. Gold is seen more as the safe haven turned to during times of economic insecurity or economic turmoil. Whenever the economy's in danger, scared, or not really sitting at ease, then they're turning towards gold. Silver's a much smaller market, and it's used for a much different purpose than gold is. Silver is more of an asset. Gold's more of a commodity. Gold's used more for jewelry, more for coinage, more for bars, more for necklaces, earrings, right? So a lot of gold is remelted and re-scrapped and recycled and reused. But silver, on the other hand, is used for laptops, dental alloys, a lot of cell phones, technology. So a lot of silver is being lost and not to be recovered at the rate that gold is. So it's definitely a different market. So the gift that keeps on giving. So while we haven't completely squashed the 1993 through 2004 analog for silver, we are deviating from it temporarily, and until the bulls start playing offense immediately. For now, I see gold miners with all sustaining costs above $900 or below $900 an ounce, and gold itself as the best two plays in the precious metal space, and no reason to be overweight on silver at its current prices. I am long on gold. Now, that's something I like. I wanted to read this because it's kind of going against the grain of where we are, because we're silver stackers to the heart, to the core, and we're all in on silver. But gold can have its benefits from time to time, but I don't see too many benefits that gold has that silver doesn't. I don't see too many uses that gold has that silver doesn't. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity, right? No other metal performs like silver. The gold to silver ratio is at all-time highs, so silver is going to have to outperform gold sooner than later. And silver is a ticking time bomb, right? The only benefit that gold has that silver doesn't is you can fit a large amount of wealth in a small area. You can fit $100,000 of gold in a shoebox. You can't do that with silver. So that's about the only thing, right? It doesn't perform any better. It's not shinier. Doesn't look better. Silver is just as valuable. And actually, back in the day, the gold to silver ratio was 2.5 to 1, which means Egyptians, back in biblical times, saw silver almost just as valuable, almost identical. It wasn't until man kind of made gold this all-time royal metal. It was manipulated by man. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. The link to this article from ETF Daily News will be in the description. I'm curious what you thought about it. I wanted to give a different perspective and kind of share my opinion on it. I thought it was interesting. So anyways, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe because I do post daily videos. This was Silver Slayer. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.